Shoo. Yay. Good afternoon, everyone. It is afternoon. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've barely started the book. Today has just been one of those days which has been really hectic again. But it's okay. Welcome to, again, I should probably check. Firstly, I should probably make sure that I don't have any food. Okay, I swear there was a bit of, no, it's a bit of oat biscuit that was stuck in my back tooth that has decided to take me down in my prime. Okay, literally I had that biscuit like half an hour ago. I always hate when that happens. Welcome to installment goodness knows what. We must be getting close to about 20 at this point. But I don't think we're quite there yet. We'll just say, you know what? No, I'm going to actually check because it's going to bug me otherwise. Anyway, how are we today? I hope you're good. Okay. I was close. Welcome to installment 19 of my Kristen Becker-Ritchie readathon that I'm doing with my lovely friends Zoe and Haley. Today I'm reading Charming Like Us. So today is the 4th of April. So today I actually was supposed to have been reading Amazing Alphas Like Us. Alphas Like Us is book number 3. And I'm on book number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? Can I count? Hair stroke simple. Take out now. Wow. 7. That's what happens when you have no social life. No, honestly, I'm good. I'm good. Thoughts on this book so far. Now, I don't think she'll be watching this, but Angelina has told me on Instagram. I will try to remember to link her Instagram in the what's it called? The description box. She promises me that I should be able to, at the very least, tolerate Charlie more from this book, because this book we're following Oscar Oliveira, which he is one of the members of the, are they still referred to as SFO? Otherwise Ketsuwon Security Incorporated. And then Jack Hyland, and he's one of the, is he one of the producers? Producers are like camera peeps for We Are Callaway. And then Charlie's kind of there. I seriously question some people down my street sometimes. I'm like, are you alright, sweetheart? Anyways, yeah, I'm only on chapter, God, this is awful. I'm on chapter 6 and it is 7 minutes past 4. Now, according to my audiobook, I think I've still got at least 3 hours left to go. And that's me putting it on 3.5 speed. 3 hours and 33 minutes. So I will, because I tend to take breaks, you know, eating's important, you know, stuff like that. I will probably be reading till fairly late tonight. But that's all good. That's all good. There are worse things in this world, believe me. Yeah. What am I thinking so far? I mean, I'm intrigued only in the sense that Jack, you know, throughout all these books has been very, you know, he's like, you know, I'm straight. Oscar, is he bi? It doesn't matter. He's taken an interest to Jack. And honestly, from how Jack is described, I don't blame the guy. Like, he sounds lovely. Gorgeous even. But yes, I don't really have much to report yet because it's still very much early days, and also in the sense that this is a new, I'm guessing they're going to be a couple. This is a new couple that we're talking about, so I feel like you need to do a lot more groundwork first and like introducing people. I mean, Tangled Like Us, I feel like was less so because obviously we know a lot of Jane's origins, you know. So it was more so maybe having some background information on Thatcher. But anyway, this is where I'm at right now. Yeah, I really hope that I like Charlie at least a bit, because at the moment I really don't like him. His behaviour in Sinful Like Us in Scotland, I was like, my dude, what are you doing? Like, seriously, grow up. Because the part where he throws a book at Maximov's head, I'm like, what was the reason? You know, when he had the conversation with Maximov, I can't remember which book it must have been. Either Damaged Lovers or Alphas. I want to say maybe more Lovers, actually, just because of the tour. You kind of understood where he came from with things regarding feeling like everybody always goes to him and nobody kind of would go to Charlie for advice, and obviously Charlie is the eldest boy. Like, part of it, I was like, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. And then he does things like throw, as a fully grown, like an adult, granted a young adult, but an adult, you know, it's not like he's a 2-year-old throwing a book at somebody's head. So I hope that I at least can tolerate him in this book. Otherwise, I'll be quite upset, because I feel awful. It sounds ridiculous. I feel awful disliking one of the Core Six's children. I genuinely do. I feel awful. It's like, why? Because sure, he does seem to have some elements of his dad, but I found his dad a lot more tolerable. Honestly, I found Connor funny most of the time, so.
Oh God.
So, Jack was on the private jet with Charlie and Oscar going to Paris, and Jack had a enjoyable dream regarding Oscar, was then woken up by Oscar, and Oscar looks down. He goes to Jack, "You can quickly sort yourself out in the bathroom before we land." But it's like, I'm guessing Oscar doesn't, well, no, because he thinks that Jack is straight, because Jack thinks he's straight still, but he's confused. Like, he's kind of like, ugh. Oh, like, how mortifying. Just being like, ah. It's like, sir, your existence caused this. And anyway. And we now know that the reason why Charlie wants Jack to basically be filming him is because he wants to, he's like, right, you're lonely, you two could get together. And obviously they're just like, no, because he's straight. And Charlie's like, and also, to be honest, I don't want people shipping Oscar and I anymore. I've had enough. So that's where they're at right now. But honestly, that scene in the private jet, I was just like, oh no. Like, it makes me think of that TikTok and it's like, oh dear, that's not good. I feel the need to say the F word now. Like, it's just kind of like, oh no. Oh dear. Anyway, so I'm not very far through. So am I going to be defeated by this book today? Am I actually going to finish it before going to bed? Because I don't know. It's 7:45. I don't think I'm finishing this today. Dang. It's okay. I'm supposed to be waking up at about 6 tomorrow morning, so I could just do it then. The things you do when people are getting up early as well, as you're just like, well, I can't be in bed, like the only one in bed. Like that's just silly. Where did that ant come from? Ugh. Now I have to deal with that. Okay, good morning everybody. Full disclosure, I didn't finish the book yesterday. I had a number of things going on this week, and I don't think I quite realised that a bunch of them were happening on the same day. So yeah, I didn't finish the book yesterday. I could have stayed up late to finish the book, but I thought, no. Like, there's no need. Technically, I think I should have been... yesterday I should have been reading Alphas Like Us. And then with my revised schedule, it was to be Sinful Like Us. And I'm obviously already past that. So it's like, it's fine. And also, it's not that deep. It's just, you know, it's reading books. So, sorry, I'm trying to like awkwardly move around so you don't see out of my house. But yes, I am just about to go on a walk. As I do most mornings. Yeah. I'm hoping today that I will finish Charming Like Us. And then even still in the next couple of days, I don't quite know how this readathon's now going to go because my little sister comes home tomorrow. She's home tomorrow. I've not seen her in 6 weeks because she went to uni. And this was her first time back home. Because unlike me, she's actually enjoying her time at uni. So she's not coming home every weekend like I did. So yeah, it's Easter break, you know, mid-semester break. So she's coming home tomorrow. And I'm really excited because I missed her. Even though I did tell her that I felt awful because I actually, for whatever reason, did not cry when we said goodbye. I think it was because with the cyclone, like, you know, it was just a very weird time for my family, for the locality, just in general. So it was kind of like, this isn't all happening right now. Like my brain just like was not processing what was occurring. So I was just kind of like, see ya. But yes, she comes home tomorrow, and then on Friday we are doing a Scream movie marathon because I said to her that I wanted to watch at least the first film, and she was like, yeah, I'll watch them with you. She said, but we're not just watching the first one, we're watching them all. And I was like, oh, fun fact about me, I'm not really a horror film watcher, but I want to give the Scream films a go. Because I don't know, I've seen too many clips about it on TikTok and I'm like, I want to know. Also, hello, spoiler alert regarding the first film, but I found this out through TikTok. Seeing the guy who played Shaggy as a bad guy, I need to see this. Because this man seems like one of the most wholesome humans on the planet. And I'm just like, and he played Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Like, how is... But also, acting. Anyway, so yeah, this reading, like this readathon thing could get a bit wobbly. I'll probably end up falling off the whole 1 book a day thing, but that's okay. It's okay. We don't need to be stressing about these things. It's just reading books for enjoyment. We don't need to make it a competition. But yes, so I'm about to go for my walk. I'll probably listen to a bit of my book, depending on how noisy people are, because if it's like noisy outside, I can't concentrate on the book. But yeah, regardless, let's continue. I will check back in with you at some point. I don't know when. Anyways, I always have to fix this cap. It always seems to go, and I'm like, no, you're supposed to be covering my head. Thank you. Pardon me. Anyway, let's go. Okay, hello party people. I am now back from my walk. I have had a shower. I look and feel like a dumpster fire. I don't know what it is. I think it's because I had disturbed sleep last night, because if you've not watched what would it be on? Actually, it would be more TikTok where I would have mentioned this, in Instagram, but I live in a locality which was hit by Cyclone Gabrielle. It was on Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine's Day this year was not the Valentine's Day that we all thought we were having. And we're still having issues with power, in the sense that new like infrastructures and that has been built and whatever. So sometimes we have periods of time where the power goes out for just not too long, but for a little bit of time, then it comes back on. Well, this morning at about half 4, maybe between 4:30 and like 4:45. Now, granted, I got to sleep at about 2 because I'm obviously an idiot, which is hilarious, because I was like, I'm not going to stay up late and read. So I didn't do that. I just couldn't sleep. And so the power came back on. So it got turned off and then it came back on. I fell asleep with my TV on. So then my TV gave me a fright because it suddenly turned on again. Like, I didn't notice it turning off, but for some reason it turning on, I think along with other appliances in the house suddenly turning on and making like little noises. Like my iPad just then. I got woken up by all these different things going beep, 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 beep. And then I had to like fix things that, you know, needed to kind of be recalibrated in the house. And I don't know if it's like, it's that, and then my walk wasn't, I can't say that it was particularly my walk, because to be honest, at this point, the walk isn't actually difficult for me. I was talking to my parents the other day. I was just like, but you know, because I go up a hill, right? Like I go up a hill, up and over a hill, and then I go up and over it again, like on my way back. And I was like, you know, it's not difficult for me anymore, but like, I'm not going to start running, because I mean no disrespect to people who go running in public, but I could never. I used to, when I was a teenager, I say teenager, when I was 12 or 13, I did, because I used to like running. I used to be fairly good at running, to be honest. But then obviously like 12, 13, you've got the idiot children who basically wolf whistle and stuff like that. So I refuse to run in public. I cannot do it. I wish that I lived in like an American movie where like, oh, I live near some kind of sports park that has, you know, like the running track. If my area had one of those, I would go run there, you know, easy. But yeah. So instead, I think I'm going to start wearing ankle weights on my walks in hopes that it will feel more like a challenge, because at the moment it's not a challenge. Like, to me, it's just something that I enjoy, but I want something, at least sometimes, like to have the choice for it to be a little bit more challenging. But for whatever reason, I just feel like a dumpster fire today. I just feel really tired. And yeah, so with the book, which is why we're actually here, I'm on to chapter 15, I think. Basically, like I said earlier, I can only listen to my book as long as it isn't noisy, because I have my phone like on a setting thing where I can't remember if it either gives me an alert or it just won't let me go past a particular volume level if I've got headphones in. So I don't want to be like turning up my AirPods for my audiobook. So I only ended up listening to like maybe 2-3 chapters. But what has occurred is Jack's younger brother is going to be working as his personal assistant over the summer, and hopefully helping him filming this kind of like spin-off We Are Calloway show regarding Charlie. So there's that. Jack has now realized that he does indeed have at least some feeling, some attraction toward Oscar, but because he's never felt this about a guy before, he's a bit confused. He doesn't quite know where he's at. So then Oscar held like a meeting at the penthouse that, is it Sully, Luna, Maximoff, Farrow, Jane, Thatcher must be there as well. Like basically being like, you know, what are we gonna do? Because Oscar's like, you know, Oscar has already said obviously before that he likes Jack, and Jack was like, oh no, I'm straight. So how did I manage to get that on my hand? But basically they've come to, for goodness sake, they've managed to come to some kind of like a deal, to be honest, because Jack basically blurted out, look man, like I don't know what I'd be labeled or classified as right now, but all I know is that I like you. You know, I've never felt this way about a guy before, but I also need like essentially like a confidant, like somebody to talk to regarding my feelings and stuff like that. So Oscar is, yeah, essentially I think helping Jack out, kind of figure out like who he is, even though, to be honest, like, I mean, it's difficult for me to say because I'm a, you know, cis straight female, but I don't know, like, if I was Jack, I would just, you know, live my life and, you know, at least try to not think about what I would be classified as, and like, you know, wait for some kind of epiphany, or just live life loving the people that you love. But yeah, but the only stipulation, is that the right word? The only thing that Oscar says is like, right, yeah, like we can have these discussions or whatever, but we can't sleep with one another. Like, we can't fornicate. Like, we can do other fun things, but I'm not doing that with you. Which, let's be honest, Jack is he's a little bit disappointed about that. He's just kind of like, oh. But, you know, he's agreeing to Oliver. It's because his last name's Oliveira. Oscar's terms. And to be honest, like, I see where Oscar's coming from, because, you know, he was very open with his feelings, and then he was kind of shot down, and so he's just trying to protect his peace and happiness, sanity, you know, whatever. Yeah, that's literally all that's occurred so far, and yet I've talked for 10 minutes. But yeah, so there, I'm wondering if we're going to be hearing maybe some kind of things regarding more of the Olivieras, maybe, because there seems to be at least some tension with some family members. Because at the moment, you know, nothing big or dramatic has occurred. Like, I'm wondering whether this book is more like maybe fun and light-hearted maybe than the other ones. I'm not too sure. It's a bit interesting, just in the sense that we're not getting like at least so far, unless, because was it Sinful Like Us, it was mainly Thatcher and Jane's POV, but we also did, you know, for a couple of chapters, you know, here and there, we got Banks's perspective. So it's just like, are we going to be getting that where, you know, most of the time we're getting Jack and Oscar's POV, but then later on we get Charlie's? Like, I'm a bit like, it's just interesting to kind of like not be in the headspace of one of the famous ones. But yeah, otherwise I am enjoying it. It's just I don't know. Is it that I'm slowing down, or maybe it's just bad timing on my part that, you know, I'm getting these weird exhaustion symptoms and things cropping up in my week that's getting in the way of reading this book. I've been tabbing it, obviously, and I've tried to tab it, but it's, as per usual, that it's kind of fitting the colour scheme of the hardback, which is this one here. I already can kind of spot some bits and pieces. Is that a not a go-kart, what's it called? A bumper car. I'm not very good at bumper cars. Fun fact about me. Last time I went on a bumper car, or in a bumper car, was Easter 2014. Oh god, that was the Easter where I shaved off part of my eyebrows. That's why the fronts of my eyebrows I feel like look weird, because I would like obviously like tweeze my eyebrows. I forgot my tweezers. So me being me, because I was a stupid 13-year-old, just got a razor and went shoom, because I could feel it, the razor touching here, but I couldn't feel it touching here. So I was just like, oh, it's fine. Shoom. And I shaved parts of my eyebrows off here, and I absolutely hated it. But anyway, bumper car was at the Easter show in Auckland in 2014, and I remember I went with my sister. My sister's 4 years younger than me. She hated it with me because I was avoiding collisions with other people. I was driving around people and she's like trying to grab the wheel off me, and she was like, no, we need to be smacking into people, like this isn't fun, you are boring. And I was like, no, I'm being safe. I said, because have you seen the seatbelts on these things? They're like non-existent. Like, I am not flying out of a bumper car. She's like, we are going at snail pace. What do you mean? We've never been on a bumper car since, neither separately. Of course, we're never doing it together ever again. That was too much, honestly. But yes, once again, nobody asked. But I'm going to do what I'm actually here for, which is reading. Also, this morning, Book Depository has now announced that it is shutting up shop. And I had pre-ordered all of the Berkeley edition books, like Berkeley editions of the Addicted Calloway books, through Book Depository for one of my friends for Christmas last year. And now I'm just like, so I've had to like scramble to see if I can cancel that order, because it's just like, I'm sorry, Jeff Bezos, but I'm not giving you money for free. Like, there needs to be a book in return, but like there isn't anything that explicitly states, those of you who've made pre-orders, you'll just get refunded your money. And I'm like, people are like, oh, yeah, you fill out the refund form. And I'm like, or like cancel form. I'm just like, well, if you're not going to send me the book, I'm not going to just pay for the book. That's stupid. Like, Jeff, I am 22 years old. No, I'm not just giving you random money. Anyways, back to reading, because I need to finish this book for today, and then maybe start Wild Like Us later on, because I'm actually really excited to read about Sully. Everybody hates on her, but I actually love her. The amount of times, I wish I had made myself a counter for how many times she says cum buckets. I don't know why. I find it hilarious. It's like how her dad, the amount of times that this man says fucking A, like he goes, oh, fucking A. And I'm just like, sir. And then Maximoff also says it, which I thought was funny. Like, I'm just kind of like, haha. Anyway. I've now been filming for 16 minutes, so I'm just going to go now because, well, I'm just talking a bunch of trash at this point. So, yeah. Okay, so updates. Oscar and Jack, the whole, we're not going to fornicate, we're not really together, we're just seeing, we're just discussing things. I don't quite know exactly what entirely the arrangement was about. Yeah, that was over honestly fairly quickly. They're an item now. Essentially when, also, I'm sorry, I want to know what's happening with Donnelly. What's happening with Donnelly? Like, I'm sorry, but I'm like ever since the final chapter of Headstrong Like Us, I have been, this whole time, my brain is consumed by, where's Donnelly? How is Donnelly? What did he do? Like, what did he sacrifice, right? And I don't know, like, it's not like I don't enjoy this book, but it's just like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like the oddball out of the series because, you know, I've made it through this far, and honestly, I mean, because I guess Charlie is like the Houdini, right? But it's like, you never see him, and like, he says like a couple of sentences, and that's kind of it. He says a couple of sentences, and then he's like, okay, I'm out. Or he doesn't even say that, he just goes. And like, I mean, I guess it's kind of the point with Charlie, like, we've been to so many different places now. I'm like, chill out, my dude. Chill out. Like, I don't know, I don't know. This might upset some people, but out of the Like Us books, or even just the books, or just the books in this readathon in general, and it's not that I don't like this book, but I think I have all of the other ones up here. Like, for me, all of those ones are, for me personally, 5 stars. This one is not. This one's like 3.5, 4. So it's still a decent book. It just perplexes me about like it being in the Like Us series, because the Like Us series is also known as the Billionaire and Bodyguard series. Now, obviously, Oscar is the bodyguard, but Jack isn't a billionaire. Like, to me, like, going into the series, like, for me, it was kind of like, even though it's kind of like, how on earth did all of these bodyguards get with their peeps, right? In saying that, though, there is I don't know if she still is, but there was a political news reporter in New Zealand who is now married to, I think, the guy was originally Jacinda Ardern's bodyguard. So, or at least part of his security team. So I'm like, it happens, sure thing. But it's like, how on earth are all of these, like, you know, Hales, Cobalts, and Meadows getting with all of their bodyguards? I'm just like, how? But yeah, this one I'm just kind of like, you know, you don't really get a sense of the cousins, which I like in the other books. You get a bit of SFO, but like not a great deal. I don't know, it's very much like a Jack and Oscar book, and like those are the people that we're predominantly sticking with, which is fine. But I think as part of the Like Us series, it kind of confused me a little bit. But what I felt really, really sad at the part where Oscar, who was it? Oscar, Farrow, Maximoff, Jack, Donnelly was supposed to, but then he didn't go because I think basically we think that he's giving all of his money to his dad, or is it his uncle? Anyway, regarding having it that Ripley was adopted by Farrow Maximoff. At that point, Jack, you know, very spontaneously, I think, kind of outed himself and made Oscar and his relationship official. He kissed him like in public, right near fans. No, they're little trolls. I was going to call them gremlins, but no, the gremlins are the kobolds. There's really awful people saying horrid things, and it just makes me really sad. And Jack also had a strawberry milkshake thrown at him because Oscar is with Jack and not Charlie, despite the fact that, from my understanding, Charlie is a straight man. But then again, we also thought that of Jack, but it would appear that he isn't, which is fine. But it's just kind of like, if Charlie has said that he's, like, you know, he's very firm, like, we are not a thing, I don't force it upon someone. It's just like, no. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'll probably finish this book in about, we'll say, hour and a half or so. So yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the book. But then, even tomorrow, like, we're getting to Sully's books and like Luna's book, of course. And then my reading's going to go haywire anyway. But for a good reason, though, because I am very, very excited for my sister to be home. And for us to watch the Scream films. I'm just like, ooh. I mean, could poop my pants or whatever. It's like, okay, fun fact about me. Oh, I should have grabbed my tripod because my shoulder's like, me. That shows how much of a weakling I am, like, in my arms. It's mainly like my shoulders and my back that I'm stronger in. Which is probably, is that an odd combination? I don't know. If I watch something that's scary, my go-to film to fall asleep to is Lilo and Stitch. So when I was texting my sister the other day and we were like basically making this plan for like a Scream movie marathon, especially the fact that I've not seen the films before, my sister's like, so you'll have Lilo and Stitch on a lot then when I'm home. I was like, yes, because Lilo and Stitch is like my ultimate nostalgia comfort film. I love that film with every part of my being. Even like the other ones as well, but like the OG one is, you know, she's the top one. But I do also enjoy Stitch 2 and Stitch the movie. And the TV show, I loved the TV show. Just Lilo and Stitch. In general. But yeah. It's just kind of like, I really, really wanted to like this book a lot more, and I'm just not quite feeling it right now. Again, it's not a bad book. It just, within the Like Us series, I'm kind of like, okay. Anyway, I'm going to go back to reading now.
Okay, I apologize. I take it back. When I said I don't understand because the Like Us series is bodyguards and billionaires, Jack comes from money. Well, his parents, like, money, like, from his parents, whereas, like, I feel like, you know, the other ones, like, it's a couple of generations, or at least, like, maybe 2 generations at the very least, are from money, whereas Jack, I get the impression that his parents made their money and now he has a trust fund. I'm just like, okay, get it, I guess. They've now pulled a Ross and Rachel. They got drunk and they got married. And Jack's middle name is Arizona because he was conceived in Arizona. Alrighty then, I'm very excited because Roxanne, I don't know how to say her last name, Ruiz has been mentioned, which is where we get our connection from the We Are Circus. Circus's family series and the Like Us series, because I know who her parents are, because her mama is Camila, who Thora stayed with in the first book in the Circus's family series. And in book 2, you saw Camila kind of having a bit of a moment, flirting a little bit with Dmitri Kotova. And so I'm pretty sure. So I think this is their daughter, Roxanne, who is a ballerina. She's 18 years old, but here's the thing. We need more Circus's family books because we don't have Camila's book yet. We have Thora and Nikolai, and we have Bailey and Luca. But like, there's quite a few Kotovas. I mean, sure, we don't need to go through every single Kotova, but like, the ones that we hear about, yes, I want books on those people. Thank you very much. But I'm just like, Roxanne. Alrighty, I just finished Charming Like Us. So, firstly, we have the bookmark, which is obviously Oscar and Jack, and then they're wearing kind of like muscle tees that say Cake Has Name, because obviously at Maximoff and Farrah's wedding, when Oscar gets kind of tongue-tied after asking Jack if he could kiss him, and Jack was like, oh, sorry dude, like, I'm straight, he's supposed to say like, there's a piece of cake with my name on it, but instead he gets flustered and he just says, Cake Has Name. And I was like, my dude, all of us socially anxious people, we've been there. And
it's honestly like that part for me was so difficult to read, in the sense that it's like, I swear that I've been in the same position before, not in the same circumstances, but when you say something and then you just start walking away because you're just like, and then you start debating, you're like, do I go back and explain to them what I was supposed to say? And you're just like, no, like I've ballsed this up enough already. Like we don't need to go through it again. But yes, Charming Like Us. Oh, there was obviously something amusing on the TV. My thoughts. Oscar and Jack are very sweet. I really like them as a couple. I was very perplexed for the longest time why they were in this series, just because of the whole billionaires part. You find out that Jack does indeed come from money, so that's where the billionaire part comes in. It's difficult because it's like, I want to say like I wish that I saw more of the kobolds, or at least like Charlie's POV. I would have loved to, you know, kind of like in Sinful Like Us, when you got Banks, you know, every once in a while. I think I would have really enjoyed that. Yeah, I don't know, it's difficult. I really wanted to like adore the book, and I enjoyed it, but not as much as I enjoyed the other books, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. There are certain books that you'll gravitate to more, you know, like lots of people with the Addicted Calloway books. Definitely the first two, and potentially could be like the first three, that people are a bit meh on, because for whatever, they don't really like kind of the foundation stuff regarding Lily and Lo. And I mean, also like the first two books, it's singular POV, it's all Lily. So yeah, so for me, this is kind of like my Addicted to You Ricochet kind of situation, where it's like I enjoyed it, but I wasn't completely in love, and I really wanted to be in love, but you know, these things happen, and it's okay. But yes, let's move on to the hardback. So actually, I need to ask Haley what the flowers are, because I'm not too sure. Because obviously the other books, like they'll have, let's see, so I'll just grab my next one, which is obviously a Meadows child. There you go. So like you've got a Daisy here, and then, you know, with Maximoff's books, you've got lilies. With Jane's books, you've got roses. You know, you got the things. I don't know what this flower is. But let's see. So we've obviously got, you know, the names. So we've got Jack over here and Oscar there. Oh my goodness. We have, I think it's called a clapperboard, because obviously Jack is he's part of the production team of We Are Calloway, which is why you've got the WAC there. You've got stamps from the places that they were in during the book, because, you know, they were following around Charlie, and Charlie does what Charlie pleases, and Charlie goes wherever Charlie pleases. Honestly, I think one of my top parts of the entire book was Charlie's reaction to Roxanne falling in the ballet, and being like, you know, it's the fact that he had enough curiosity, like, you know, he's in his head. I actually was quite upset at a part when he's high and they're stuck in a lift, and I mean, I'm personally just claustrophobic in general, but when Charlie was like, I need to get out, like, Oscar, you need to help me, like, I need to get out. And it's like, has he got issues where he feels trapped, and that's why he got, you know, he does his walkabouts, and then him being high just exacerbated his already aversion to enclosed spaces part of him? Like, yeah. But then also part of me thought it was kind of sweet but also sad at the same time that it was noted that, you know, Charlie, you know, first thing he was doing was calling his dad, and, you know, it appears that he calls his dad a lot. And so it kind of reminded me of parts of Headstrong Like Us, and the whole thing of no matter how old you are, like, I mean, I think granted this would be if you have like a close relationship with your parents, but like, you know, it will not matter how old I am. I will still want to call my mum for help with something. Like, I would much rather go to like my safe people than go outside that. So, because obviously in Headstrong Like Us, that was also I think quite a strong theme with Maximoff and Lo, was the whole thing of like, dad, like, you know, I'll always need you, like, you know, you do have still a very strong purpose in my life. And obviously for Charlie, oops, sorry, I just knocked that. For Charlie, you know, Connor is that, in particular, is that kind of pillar of strength for him. So it's good that he does have that person. So I don't dislike him as, that's what this book did for me in particular. It made me dislike Charlie a lot less. To be honest, I just felt quite sad for him. And I want to know more, like, I want to kind of know his thought processes, what goes through his head and stuff like that. Even like, you know, in any of Maximoff's books, like, you know, he clicks out, he breaks the third wall, he tells you, like, you know, his thoughts and opinions on certain people. I'd kind of like Charlie's input with things. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting far too carried away with this. Obviously we have camera. Then we have things with chess. Chess is a big thing, especially if any cobalt is involved. We have a packet of crisps or chips. A lot of snacky things. We've got also a glass of orange juice. We've got it was referred to as a sucker, but I'm like, it's a lollipop. It's like the shape of a Chubba Chub. Like, it's not like is it Allen's? Like the ones that you'd kind of get in school or something, where it's like the clear square wrapper, and like it was like a fairly flat lollipop. And you could either get like there was a circle, there was an oval, there's another shape as well. But yeah, we've got boxing gloves, because obviously the Olivieras, they're very much into their boxing. We have Long Beach, because that's what Oscar refers Jack to, and then a longboard. We have a bumper car, so that's kind of significant regarding the fair, where things come out about why Charlie is wanting to do the show, where Jack has been kind of following him around this whole book and filming and stuff. And obviously bandanas, because again, that's a very much an Oscar thing. But yes, that is the end of my reading vlog for Charming Like Us. My reading vlogs from now on with this readathon, they could be a bit sporadic, because my sister's coming home tomorrow. But to be fair, I think this is like vlog number 20 in the space of around about 20 days. so I've not done awfully, like I've done all right. But yes, I will still be reading these books. Like I said, this brings us to the end of the reading vlog of Charming Like Us, and maybe a bit later I might start Wild Like Us. Who knows? But yes, I hope you all have a lovely, lovely rest of your day, and I hope seeing my face did not make it worse for you. Love you all. Bye. Shoo.